We are talking about Schlitter, Evil in the Woods, which is a French horror thriller. My name is Phil. Look who's here. Dan is back from Nancy Boys.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh, you're welcome. Always good to see you. And if you haven't checked out the video that we did before, which was our review of The Coffee Table, we'll link to it below and we'll link to it at the end as well. But let's talk about Schlitter, Evil in the Woods. It stars Louka, Meliava. I think I'm pronouncing these names right. In fact, I'm not even going to bother because I'm probably going to mess them up completely. I'll put all the names on the screen. Easy way out.
People can crack out some GCSE French. You'll be fine.
I didn't do French at school, I did German. So Schlitter is a maker of sleds. Interesting. I think if you've seen the poster for this, it might give kind of stuff away from the final scene, actually. So probably avoid everything.
Actually, I've not seen the poster. I'm going to have a look now just to see what... Yeah, because there are some mysteries set up that you're like, you're not straight away obvious exactly what's going on and who's at play and all that, but... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, you're right. Don't look at that at all.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this because I know you probably didn't enjoy it as much as me.
Yeah, which is actually really fun. As I remember, there's a young boy who lives in the woods with his parents, probably back in the 80s or 90s. There's some sort of incident where the dad accidentally runs over his son's friend and dumps the body, and then the dad is looking for his son who's gone missing, and there's obviously a bit of a kind of an altercation of he probably understands what's happened, and years later he takes revenge or looks to take revenge on the family.
His dad is a nasty piece of work. I actually thought he was going to be the main villain in this, but it turns out there's somebody worse than him.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I mean, the first film was awful. So things came to pass, which were quite pleasing, actually, in terms of that character. I guess my issue with it, I'm really biased with foreign films anyway, because I always think, we're going to get something a bit different. We're going to get something that's a bit elevated, which is very biased because probably you can get really crap films in other languages, and that's totally fine. But I bought into it and thought, it's French. It's going to be really original. What I found frustrating, and I'm a massive horror fan, and I love kind of some of the like cliches and stuff. I just thought it was very, very tropey, and there were just lots of things where I'm like, oh God, it's doing all the stuff that a lot of slasher movies have done. And it started off for me, like, there's always a moment in a film where I think, I'm not going to like this. This is going to piss me off.
And did you get that early on? Did you get that?
I got it from when the I think it's called Lucas is grown up and he's in his old house, or he was in the house of the guy where he was in the old childhood bedroom of his friend who died when he was a kid, and the kid comes in and goes, Lucas, and he's covered in blood, and Lucas scrunches his eyes up like that and then reopens them as if he may as well have done this like cartoon style, like I'll rub my eyes and see if he's there, and it's like he's not there, like is this supposed to be a ghost? And then it started to do things like that, and I thought it got really bad in like the last half an hour where the characters just started to do really stupid stuff.
Don't they always, though? They always do in horror films.
I feel like because we've had, Scream came out nearly 30 years ago and it was taking the piss out of tropes like this. And I felt like the last 45 minutes of this film was characters getting one up on the antagonist and then running away without killing him or doing anything about it. And then the antagonist would catch up with them and then try and kill them again. And then something else would happen and they'd run off. And I started to just roll my eyes a lot throughout the film. Why are they doing this? And there were two moments. There was one where, this is heavily spoiled, by the way, so yeah.
I just put this like kind of pixelated square over your mouth so no one can see or hear what you're saying.
I'm going to go all in and ruin everything. So there's the pivotal scene where the main character, and to get to it, you have to go down a ladder and along a long corridor, and then you have to go into a room. And somehow he's in there, and before you know it, the other guys come up behind him and hit him around the head. And like, he's done that very quietly without any like. And the guy's in a wheelchair. The film doesn't decide whether he actually needs to use the wheelchair. I just think if he's not in a wheelchair, then he's managed to open the hatch, go down the ladder, walk along a corridor without making any noise. And it was one of those like cheap dunk. You just see him hit him, and it's like, right. And then there was another bit where the girlfriend, who was just useless. She runs away and she's in a bedroom in the house and she locks the door and puts a chest of drawers up against it.
People always do that, don't they? They push the chest of drawers thinking, that's going to hold the door. There's like nothing in that chest of drawers. There's a couple of pairs of pants.
It was so flimsy. And then not only that, she leaves the key in the door, and then the door has this window. So the guy just smashes through the door, turns the key and smashes his way in. And it's like, oh, did you not want to take the key out? Did you?
It was almost a Here's Johnny moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. And again, like, she could have attacked him. There were just lots of moments where I'm like, what are the characters doing? They're just idiots. And, there's a bit where this young guy in his 20s is beating the shit out of this guy who must be in his 70s or 80s, pummeling his face in. And then the guy just gets up and it's like, no. So it's like, is this guy supernatural? Is he
Michael Myers?
He's just a French dad.
That's Michael Myers.
That lives in the woods. Like, it's like Michael Myers in Halloween Kills, where he goes from being this relentless killer to like, oh, he's actually just completely unbeatable.
A machine.
Which is why I didn't like Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Well, I take all your points on board, Dan, completely, because I think it is quite tropey. I thought it was really well done, though. There were moments. I mean, to be honest, I went in thinking, okay, this isn't going to be very good. I don't know why I thought that. I thought maybe from the trailer, I just thought, okay, that looks a bit average, but actually, I was really won over it. I was won over by it. I thought the action scenes were well done. I thought it was crafted well. And it was effective because there were moments I actually did gasp out, and that's very rare for me with horror films. I don't think it was necessarily that expensive. It didn't look like a really expensive film, but I think what they did with it was well made.
Yeah, and I think it looked really good. I thought the performances were generally fine. I had no problems with like the actors or like how it was put together. It was just more the kind of the plot armor of like, how do we stretch this thing out to be 90 minutes? Well,
it wasn't even that, was it? It was 73.
Yeah.
That was another thing, because I was pleasantly surprised by that, because it didn't outstay its welcome. It wasn't like one of those films where it goes on for 2 hours and there's no point to this 2 hour running time.
More films at 90 minutes or less, please.
Or 73, yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah, I think
especially for Dan, who absolutely hated this film by the sounds of it. Less than 73, please.
I must admit, even then, I was like turning on the play buttons, but like, how long has this got to go? If I get in a grump about a film, I'm just a bit like, it's lost me, and it just lost me quite early on. And I was like, I don't know. There were things that were just winding me up. And
we're gonna have a different star rating. What is your star rating, Dan? I'm guessing it's below 3.
I'm thinking it was 2, because if we can't do halves, I can't give it 6.
Ouch!
And I feel bad because I look back to The Strangers Chapter 1, which came out earlier in the year, and I hated that film, and that was probably a 2. But I didn't hate this. It just made me roll my eyes a little bit.
I'm going for 4. I know you probably will roll your eyes at that verdict, but yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really effective. I enjoyed it. Yeah, actually, there was a couple of really gory moments in this.
Yeah, there was some good, like, because I'm trying to think. Actually, there weren't really. Oh, there were a couple of deaths. Actually, there was one very good death.
Yeah,
talking about what we spoke about earlier about.
Oh my god! I mean, we've got a split opinion. That was definitely was a splitter.
Very good. I enjoyed that. And he was such a wanker that I was like, yeah, this is great.
He deserved it. He had it coming.
Absolutely deserved it. And it as I said, it was just, I don't know, maybe a couple of rewrites to think, well, is there another way we could have stretched this out rather than... I also thought the Schlitter thing was like, they talked a lot about this sledge, or the sled, whatever it was. And then it was a bit like, they were trying to make that a big thing of the film. And obviously the title of the film is Schlitter as well.
Yeah. I suppose it did play a big part in the threat of the final act.
Yeah. Because... yeah, I mean, I've never seen a sled full of logs before.
I know, yeah. A little bit shoehorned, maybe.
Yeah, and there's definitely some originality to it. We're not talking about like another like slasher movie like a Friday the 13th type thing. I just wanted the characters to make better decisions. They were just very stupid.
I know, yeah. I get frustrated by that. But then sometimes I'm enjoying it so much, I kind of want them to fail in a way because they're so stupid. When they do, it's great. I'm air punching.
Yeah. They weren't nice characters. Like, they were kind of... I mean, the main character was fine, but the friend was pretty awful and, like, was quite glad what happened to him, actually. And I mean, she obviously, there was a whole extra plot about her and what was going on in the background. So didn't leave her in the best light either. But
So there we go.
Time it was different, just not for me.
Schlitter, Evil in the Woods. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it as much as me, but it is out on digital platforms on the 26th of August. Hopefully we'll have some good stuff coming up. If you're guessing in the future, hopefully you will guess in the future. There's so many good horror films coming out this year.
There's just almost too many at the moment. I can't keep up, and it's been like a real run of, I think there's about 3 or 4 coming out in the next week, which and there's like, we haven't had Oddity in the UK, we haven't had Cuckoo yet. There's so much to come. So
yeah,
that's why I've got to be sparing with my scores, you see, because I can't.
You gotta save it. Save it for, I think, Speak No Evil as well. That's coming out, the remake, even though I'm not overly keen on remakes.
And I've seen the original, so unless they do something really different with that, it'll be like.
I think they have to. I don't think they're going to do that final scene. They can't.
No, unless they just think, sod it, we're just going to do it.
Maybe.
I was like, actually, they did something different, so maybe not.
Yeah. It's really good to see you, Dan. Thank you so much for guesting again.
Thanks, Phil, for having me as always.
We'll see you on the next one.
Will do.
Don't forget to check everyone. Nancy Boys, all the details down below where you can find Dan doing his excellent thing. And we'll see you on the next one.
Come say hi. Thanks, Phil.